I feel like UBI is very simple. Like it's just like it's simple enough that like the government can't even fuck it up. Like that's
I mean, you'd be surprised.
I mean it's possible, but like if it was just like
If
hey,
anybody can do it, they can.
that's true. So how do you
But
think we should tackle it? Should it be like, hey, we have like we're getting all these taxes in every year. Let's take, I don't know, 1% of it and then divvy that up, or I don't know, probably 1%'s a lot. But like
well, it
get a
depends.
certain percentage and then divvy it back out to everyone.
So I guess the people who should qualify for a UBI is the person who should have at least a citizenship, right? I think that also part of it is that
I mean, I think that goes without. Sorry to cut you off, but I think that goes without question. Like, you have to be like a U.S. citizen to get it on. I think you same way that you get tax refunds only if you're a U.S. citizen.
correct.
I think that should be the same case for this.
So
But
using
I
our Social
think
Security,
if we're trying to get rid of welfare, I think the programs that we're taking out, you look at the money that's being allocated and spent to
and
that.
you
That is
reallocate
the
it,
pot that we pull
reallocate.
from.
Yeah, but now
And
you
yes, it's going
But
to
that
a
would,
lot more people, but I think there's also the sense of like this isn't paying anyone's full month expenses. Maybe this is paying a portion of food or a portion of
yeah.
rent. This isn't changing anyone's
So
anyone
enforce
that's
as
wealthy's
still
life,
working.
and you still have to apply for this.
Okay.
I know
so
that
it's not like
millionaires and
it's not
yeah,
automatically everybody. Okay, so
yeah.
let them apply for, so that way at least if you want it, you can apply. If you don't want it, that's fine.
Right. Yeah. And I know the wealthy are going to have, people that do all of their taxes and stuff. And yes,
Yeah.
maybe they apply for this. That gets 1,000 to whatever. But there's going to be a decent amount of people that let this money go unclaimed.
No, I 100% agree on that part because they may not need it, right? And
if
at the
we,
heart,
sorry. If you do you think that if we make people apply for it, it'll create the similar stigma that welfare has now?
that's a good question, too.
Otherwise, like if we could give everybody who puts in a tax return,
I
a
see. I don't
thousand
think it
dollars.
will.
I think the stigma is going to be for probably the fringe people.
Yeah.
I don't want to put you guys on the spot, but like maybe around our range where it's like, hey, like you're really like going in to get that $1,000 a month. Like, do you really
I'll be like,
need
hell
that?
yeah.
Versus
Yeah, Sean, I'm
versus like
applying.
people.
If it's apply, I'm applying today.
Yeah, me too. If
I
anybody, it's
applied
a free.
yesterday already. I'm waiting for the
Yeah.
check.
Yeah, but I think where the judgment or stink sits is probably a much higher level up. I think there's going to be a large pool below that. No one's going to be like, oh, why are you applying for this $1,000? Because that pays for like a quarter of my rent. So yeah,
And only that, this is eligible for everybody who's actually a citizen, right? So therefore, it's not like you're poor, you have to qualify. You're middle class, you're making 200K, you still apply for it. Mm-hmm. So it's not. I don't think the stigma will be there. I feel like it's more like, why aren't you applying for it?
I think there would be a stigma, I don't know, coming from the Asian background where everyone is very prideful.
It is.
If you apply for this, it's gonna look bad on you, right? Versus like someone else in the community. So I feel like that stigma will be created just by making it a forced application, other than like just giving it to them, anyone who's like,
but again, this goes
tax return.
Yeah, but again, that goes back to like, who are we trying to help? Like the issue that we're trying to resolve is poverty in America. If you're trying to resolve that, the people that have the ability to be concerned about how it looks are probably in a situation much better. Like no one that's like true. Sitting outside in a box is like, yeah, I didn't do UBI because I didn't want my neighbor to think bad. Like, I
didn't see that blue check that comes in the mail. They saw me pull out that blue envelope, and that's it. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Okay, listen. I feel like, okay, first of all, I think UBI Asians, I don't think it's that bad of a thing, because I think this is pretty common already in Asia already. Singapore has that already, so does China, and so I feel like even Hong Kong has it too. Like I don't feel like it's a bad thing, right?
No, I'm just saying in general, like as a pride thing, it could be something. I'm not saying that Asians love money and love getting free money. They'll apply for it all. Like, I agree. I'm 100%. Every Asian out there is gonna apply for this thing if they need to. But I'm just like, I don't know why there needs to be a barrier there to get this.
No,
I mean, I think part of it is like we want people to be engaged. Like
Correct.
the big thing is
Activity.
like, yeah, we want people to like spur the national economy and like, hey, this is something that you need to do to get something. It's a very low hurdle. Like we're
It
not
is very
asking,
hard. Yeah, I agree. It's like right now. Okay, so the example right now with unemployment, right? Where
but like also it's probably a bigger hurdle applying for welfare than it is for like applying for this. Because like when you're applying
that's
for
true.
welfare, especially like we're not tacking in all the things that sit under the welfare bucket. We're just like talking about like food and housing and some of the basic stuff. Like those are all separate applications that people go to their
That's true.
local
Yeah.
to fill out
Food
and
stamp is different. So does financial aid is different. Housing is different. Medicaid is different. Everything's different.
Mm-hmm.
Which they don't make it easy for them to apply. It is a hurdle.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But I also know people
but from
that probably
experience,
should be getting food stamps, and it would help them a lot, which they wouldn't do because of like stigma, right, against them. Like, oh, I'm working, I don't need food stamps, right? Like,
well, they wouldn't even qualify for food stamp. Right? People who I mean,
that's
there's
not
different.
true. People work.
no,
Some people who are working still can qualify.
Oh, that's the same, but not
So,
everybody though. Yeah.
no, but I'm saying like there's some people that are like on the fringe to like, oh, they could like
Yeah.
they could apply and like help
yeah.
themselves a little bit, and they just don't
Yep.
do it because of there's
Of
stigma
pride.
against
I mean,
it.
I think one really good example of that is I think most of us when we were in college could have applied for food stamps.
Yeah,
I know a
agree.
few friends that like did
Yeah.
because they're like, hey, I'm not working, I'm getting like a little bit of government assistance or
Yeah.
whatnot, and I'm in debt, you know. But a lot of people didn't, and,
Right.
and it is something that you again had to apply.
I didn't
for.
even know you
Wasn't
could
like-
do it. To be honest, I would have done it if I knew about it. But I was working 2 jobs at the same time though. So, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I knew about it, I would definitely apply for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. See.
Yeah.
Like, and then we'll have people that are like, oh, later on they'll be like, oh, I should have signed up for UBI because I just didn't know that I could.
No, it's. I think education is going to come down one thing as well. UBI. It's just how you sell it to people, right? One of it's like, hey, this is to supplement what you need to do for your needs to release stress. It's not to compensate certain things. And with UBI though, like I think we need to talk about the cost of that as well, but we'll get that in a second. But in terms of the benefits, we know the benefits is there, 100% sure, right? And again, it's going to come down to how the message is being delivered because they know that this is going to be there forever. So the question is though now, is the incentive for them to? It has to be enough where they still want to apply to get free money, but also it has to be just enough where it doesn't spoil them, and it's not stimulate them from the working. You see what I'm saying?
I mean, like it shouldn't be enough where they can live off of.
Correct.
Like that's already like a given, right? Like I don't think anybody's looking at UBI as like, oh, now I don't need to work at all anymore. I have UBI.
Yeah.